to hear this class discrimination again. He started yelling, saying that the peasants were the ones who he had crushed to reach the position on which he is standing at the moment. The only difference the royals and the peasants have is the wealth that was left for them by their ancestors. If it were not for that reason, then they would have been equal. Zhang declared that he'd not move from his place and would stand strong there. Duke Nim ordered his guards to capture Zhang, but before them, Don Ray came forward to protect him. This was not something Zhang had expected, as this action had only ceased their chances of getting away with it. The Duke asked Don Ray about himself, but before that, the kids from behind told him that he was the one who had beaten them up yesterday. Now that the Duke's target was in front of him, there was no chance for him to stop there. The guards surrounded them, and the Duke had decided to give them the result of what they had done by beating up his kids and offending him as well. As the guards were about to capture them, Zhang used light magic and generated a barrier around him and Don Rai. The guards were surprised to see him using the divine fighting spirit. The Duke also understood that these were not ordinary kids, but rather powerful ones, and because of that, his son lost to them. Zhang's magic abilities, the Duke realized that beating him would not be easy, so he ordered his guards to outnumber them. Zhang told him that this decision of his is the one he should be ashamed of, as ordering his subordinates to gang up on children is not a respected order to give as the Duke of the country. Zhang sought help from the light elements around him and provoked the guards and others to attack them if they dared. This time the Duke didn't send his subordinates and went into the battle himself to counter magic with magic. He unleashed his magic power, which was a completely unexpected thing for both of them. He told them that he's also a light knight, and on top of that, a powerful one, and because of that, he's been appointed as the Duke. Both Zhang and Don Ri were shocked to know that, as now they had a clear image of who they were facing off with. The title of Light Knight is only given to those who are at least a magic scholar, which means that at his weakest, the Duke is a magic scholar, and he can be a lot stronger than that level as well. Zhang wanted to not get on his nerves, but he had also decided to not back down from the fight, which is now being held in their honor. On the other side, the Duke was expecting Zhang to back down because of his intimidating presence, but he thought that since he's facing him ready for a fight, it means that he's strong, and that would mean he's already at the level of a magic scholar. From his looks, Zhang understood what he was thinking, and in order to not reveal his true strength, he let the magic barrier down, acting as if he had lost the strength to fight him. The Duke fell for it and thought that Zhang was a weaker mage. Just then, Master Wen arrived at the scene and cheerfully asked the Duke about the situation. The Duke told him that his son, along with the other aristocratic kids, were beaten up by his students last night and asked him to resolve this problem. Master Wen said that the story he had heard was a lot different from what he's telling and explained to him that the quarrel was started by their side by disrespecting his student, and as a result of that, they got what they deserved. The Duke was not satisfied with this answer. He tried to confirm if Master Wen had no other way to sort this matter out other than taking the side of his own students, but before telling him the answer to that, Master Wen asked him to show the injuries that their children were sustaining. His son came forward and showed his swollen face, to which Master Wen told him that he should not make such a ruckus over a minor injury like that, saying that he was wasting the time of the Royal Knights Academy. The Duke kicked his son away for disgracing him publicly and chased him out of the place. He came back and told Master Wen that he wanted a settlement. Master Wen clearly said that the ones in the wrong were his children, and he should not expect any kind of apology from him or his students as they had done what was right. He also said that he could not push this decision on them as the power that they have easily outclasses his. Once Master Wen stopped speaking, all the teachers, along with the full classes of their students, arrived on the scene to show their support and power to the oppressive Duke. The Duke knew that the people he's facing are not ordinary ones but strong knights, and there are many armies of knights to be made. Taking on them would only mean certain defeat, as only an army of Earth Dragon soldiers would be able to defeat them at this rate. The best way, as the Duke sought, was to clear this matter in front of the king. Now that the matter that started with a petty quarrel between the children has turned into a dispute between the adults, it's been sent to the king so that justice can be done for the deserving party. Back at the Royal Knights Academy, Zhang Gong and Don Ray were eagerly waiting for the return of Master Wen, and soon he came back. Zhang asked him about the verdict that the king had passed. Master Wen jokingly said that the king had ordered 50 lashes each for the three of them, but Zhang understood his intention. Looking at the expression on Zhang's face, Master Wen knew that he was being serious and told him that the king had ordered both the Royal Knights Academy and Duke Filch to participate in the upcoming quinquennial tournament, and the losing team out of these two would have to apologize to the winner. This was the condition that the king had given to both of them. Zhang was not happy with this decision, and he wanted to clear the situation as they were the ones being bullied in the first place. Don Ray was ready to accept this decision as they could win the tournament easily since they have a lot of strong students in the academy. Master Wen told him that it was not going to be easy as the Duke had asked him to place these two into the team, which will have 5 members each. He also warned him about the eldest son of the Duke, who is the commander of the 2nd Earth Dragon Battalion. There was only one person stronger than him, and that was the commander of the 3rd Earth Dragon Battalion, Jim Xiuda, also known as the Battle Tiger. Master Wen was talking about Zhang's god brother Zhan Hu. Zhang gave it some thought and realized that it would really be hard to deal with a team full of people who are on par with the strength of his big brother. But then he promised Master Wen that he'd not let him down by any means and would sacrifice their lives if the victory required that. Don Rai agreed with him and said that they'd win as the good guys. Master Wen held that statement and told them that they didn't even know the meaning of good guys. From his own perspective, Duke Filch, a person who makes the best decisions and launches policies that always benefit the public, is a good guy as well. There's no one who can be described as a good or bad person, as there's a very thin line differentiating these two. A person always jumps back and forth on this line, sometimes being a good guy and sometimes a bad guy. He also told them that it's okay for them to lose, as it would not be a big problem for him to go and apologize to the Duke. But his students will never accept this. They had decided to work harder than anyone else to not let the name of their teacher get spoiled. After this conversation, both of them were determined to win the tournament at all costs. They started practicing for it with everything that they had. While Don Rai was practicing with his bow and arrows, Zhang suggested he turn his archery skills into their biggest advantage. Zhang told him that their opponents would not be impressed by his archery skills, so they'd ambush them with magic arrows. It will be their secret weapon, which they will only use against Duke's team. Don Rai praised his strategic thinking and thanked him for helping him out. Zhang reminded him not to tell anyone about it as this is going to be their secret weapon. But Master Wen, standing behind a tree, has heard all of it while wondering about their weird secrets. When the two looked for Master Wen, they realized that he would have gone to the academy to find some strong team members for them. Just as they were walking out of the garden area, Master Wen arrived and introduced Zhang and Don Rai to the 3 students that he had bought. He then introduced them to Zhang and Don Rai as follows. Asterisk Shan Li's, one of the strongest martial artists in the academy, is at the level of a Sky Knight, but has remained at the academy to learn more. Gay Kim, he's an equal to Shan in all the categories. Swiss Malik, the strongest student of the academy, possesses the strength of a Sky Knight and is one of the most respected students in the academy. Master Wen left the place to let them have some time together. Zhang decided to act cool in front of them so that he could leave a good impression on them. But as soon as he raised his head, he saw Don Ri fanboying over Swiss, asking him to take him under his care to teach him, but Swiss maturely replied that they all should learn from each other while being equals. As the cool guy, Zhang suggested that their team should have a name and a leader. Without a second thought, Shan pointed to the Swiss, saying that there's no need for them to choose anyone else other than the Swiss. The Swiss tried to oppose him by saying that he's not qualified enough to be a team leader. Zhang indirectly told them that there's no need for them to quarrel over trivial things like these, and said that the one with the best skills will become their team leader. All of them were interested in what he was saying, but when Zhang asked them about it, Shan Dong Rai and Gay Olmao opted out, leaving only Zhang and Swiss. They went ahead with the results, and Zhang was ready to fight against the Swiss. He asked him to initiate the attack as the guest, which he didn't agree to. The battle in which the team leader would be chosen was about to begin. As Swiss had refused to initiate the attack, Zhang took the lead and used short-range teleportation magic to create multiple afterimages. This shocked everyone, as it was the first time they had seen something like this. Zhang told them that these afterimages had helped him collect the light elements from all the corners of this place, because of which he's now able to launch his strongest attack. He requested the light elements to help him and form a halo for humanity. And with that, Zhang launched his strongest level 8 attack, the light halo, and caught everyone with strong binds of these halos. He told them to free themselves from it, and the one to do it first would be promoted as their leader. Everyone was angry at him for dragging him into it. Swiss surrendered, saying that he had acknowledged Zhang as their leader. Shan disagreed with this decision, but Swiss told him not to, and thus, Zhang became the team leader. He asked Swift for the team name, and Swiss asked him about the name of the magic that he had just used. Zhang told him about it, and Swiss decided to name their team Team Halo. Master Wen came back and explained to them about the tournament and its rules. All the contestants are accepted into small teams that fight against other teams as a whole or in parts of 2 versus 2 or 1 versus 1. This year, around 10,000 teams are participating in this tournament, and a total of 24 rounds will take place. One by one, the winning teams will move ahead, and the losing teams will get another chance in the elimination bracket. There must have been more than 20 rounds that a team had to clear in order to reach the finals. The rules are similar to those of normal magic battles, in which if the opponent surrenders or forfeits, the other contestant wins, and the same goes for throwing the opponent outside the arena. Murder in this tournament is forbidden. Master Wen finalized that Zhang will lead Team Halo, and other important decisions will be made by Swiss as the vice captain. Time passed by like a gust of wind, and without even them noticing, the day for the tournament arrived. It was being held at the largest arena of the Gshuda Kingdom, which has 51 smaller arenas built into it. The safe seating arrangements were made for a very large crowd. After drawing their lots, Team Halo got group number 198, while the team belonging to Duke Filch, the Wind Dragons, got group 803. Zhang and his team had decided not to use any magic in the beginning rounds. The third round for Team Halo was against Team Iron and Steel. The enemies were looking strong in old-fashioned knight suits of iron. They were intimidating. Zhang thought that their huge iron armors could help them push their opponents outside the arena by just running into them while they were at a disadvantage. Against these two iron giants, Sean and Gae Kim were ready to fight. With their strong and confident stance, their battle began with the Iron Team members charging into Team Halo, but with a single strike of Sean's sword, the three of them went flying. One of them asked Sean if he could use his fighting ki right now. Sean said yes and asked them if they would surrender. They all got up and fell to their knees. They begged Sean to become their master and teach them about fighting ki. They said that they had come to this tournament only to find a teacher who could teach them about fighting Kai. The next 10 rounds were also cleared in a similar manner, with Sean, Gae Kim, and Dong Rai clearing them in an instant. At the end of the preliminaries, Sean had 5 new students for him. Team Halo had advanced into the quarterfinals. On the other side, Duke Filch's team sent only one person for all the rounds, who alone carried their team to the quarterfinals. All the successful teams got a 4-day practice break from the tournament. Team Halo used this time to improve their coordination. Dong Rai was the one who had shown some rapid growth in his strength as he was able to attract magic elements towards him with his innate ability. With Zhang's guidance, he was able to master some elementary level spells while also getting a strong hold on some intermediate level spells. He was able to use these elementary spells along with his bow and arrows, making them much more powerful. The 4 days of rest and practice had passed, and now the first match of the quarterfinals was about to begin. This match was the one that was about to prove the true strength of Zhang Gong against a pretty strong team of elitists called the Sky Demons, which consisted of 3 martial artists and 2 mages. The team was pretty strong. Zhang said that he could defeat them on his own, but Sean bet that he would not be able to do that, and Zhang took that personally. He declared that he would defeat the whole team of 5 members alone, all by himself. Zhang went into the arena alone. The surprised leader of the Sky Demons asked him if he was really thinking of taking the whole team by himself. With a slight smile on his face, Zhang said yes. The annoyed leader of the Sky Demons said that even if he is a strong light knight, he would not be able to survive alone against their group. It's a suicide that he's about to commit, but Zhang didn't listen to him and remained firm in his decision to fight the Sky Demons alone. To destroy the arrogance Zhang was showing them, the leader decided to launch an all-out attack on him. He summoned both the fire and water elements and condensed them to form fierce dragons. He ordered them to finish Zhang Gong standing in front of them. As a counter to this fierce elemental attack, Zhang borrowed the strength of the light elements around him and cast the 9-division light spell, which not only protected him from the attack, but also threw the whole Sky Demons team out of the arena, giving Team Halo another victory in this tournament. Dong Rai praised Zhang's spell that he had used. Zhang told him that if he practiced with full concentration, he'd soon be able to use it and could face the world without fear of anyone. The following matches were pretty easy and passed so quickly that the team didn't even remember them. With that pace, Team Halo made it into the top 32 without putting in any greater effort. On the other hand, Duke Filch's team was also moving to the top at a similar pace. All of its members except the elder son of the Duke participated in the battle. It is now known that they have a land knight and 4 sky knights. Now it's up to them to see if any member of their team is stronger than a light knight, as it would be pretty difficult for them to deal with. Team Halo's next match is against the King's team, led by the Prince of the Shuda Kingdom and the elder brother of Godhood. Both teams arrived at the arena. Zhang was able to sense a similar aura coming from the prince, like that of his big brother. Zhang greeted the prince, and the prince did the same, but in a more competitive manner. Zhang asked him about the well-being of King Shuda. He said that he's fine, but also asked him the reason for asking this odd question at this moment. Zhang said that he'll tell him once the fight gets over. The match began with Zhang summoning light elements for both the Light Halo and Holy Light at the same time, while Swiss and Sean were using their fighting ki. Zhang got near the enemy and used the light severing sword spell on the prince, but the prince didn't fall behind and ordered his teammates to maintain the formation, following the casting of the light evil break, which countered Zhang's holy light and severing sword spell. Fended off by the evil break spell of the prince, Team Halo regained their stability. Swiss and Sean were badly injured. The prince asked them to surrender if they wanted to survive, as there was no chance for them to sustain another hit like that. Swiss said that they'd prefer a loss while fighting over surrendering. Zhang said the same, and because of their bold words, the prince decided to launch another attack. The king's team was in formation to attack, but then Zhang took out his magic staff and collected the light elements, once again for a much stronger light halo. On their face, the prince landed an all-star slash. But this time Zhang's light halo pierced through it, crushing the prince's attack. The all-star slash fell to the ground. All of its glory had crumbled. Now that the prince had no choice left, he had decided to show his true power, which he had saved for the Wind Dragon team. He had underestimated Team Halo, but now he'll fight them as a threat to their victory. He had decided to go all out with this final blow of his magic. The combined divine fighting ki of the king's team was about to hit Zhang and his friends. Bloody Demeanor was its name. Zhang knew that this hit would be fatal for his teammates, so he also used all of the magic that he had left to empower the light halo, which resulted in a huge explosion, breaking down the arena itself. When the dust settled, Zhang noticed that the prince was still standing on his feet with the support of his sword, while all the other members of the king's team were on the ground. It was the first time that the prince had his massive attack blocked. He was in bad shape. Swiss asked the prince to surrender, saying that there were still him and Sean left to fight him. But the prince refused, saying that he'd never surrender. He summoned his magic beast, a giant eagle named Xiao Ying, and ordered it to merge with him. As the order occurred, Team Halo once again became active. Don Rai presented himself to fight against the prince, but Zhang stopped him, saying that he should save his secret attack for the last battle and that he would be the one to fight him. Don Rai asked him if he could do this by himself. Zhang told him that he could, and he went ahead. He summoned Xiao Jin to help him out, as he was out of magic. Xiao Jin's presence alone intimidated the prince and his magic beast. Xiao Jin held Xiao Ying and threw him out of the arena along with the prince. Team Halo had won this battle, but Zhang became unconscious and fell. The next day, Zhang woke up in a bed where Don Rai was the first one to meet him, who first asked him about his condition and then told him that he had been unconscious for a whole day. Zhang realized that they had to face the Wind Dragons the next day. He asked Don Rai about the condition in which their team is. With a depressed voice, Don Rai told him that Sean and Gay would not be able to fight, and Swiss was also not in great shape to help them. No one had ever expected the King's team to be this powerful, but now they had also revealed another one of their secrets in the form of Xiao Jin. Zhang was not happy about it, but then Master Wen arrived, and Zhang apologized to him. He said that there was no need for that, and praised him for his performance in the last match. He said that he was very pleased to see the efforts that he and his team had put into the last battle. He said that it's okay for them to lose the next battle, as resting their mind and body is a lot more important than winning a tournament. Zhang opposed him, saying that he'd keep the promise that he made to defeat Duke's team. Now there's no way for them to back down. They were ready to give everything that they had to put down the Wind Dragons team to make Master Wen along with the Royal King's Academy. The next day, the battle between Team Halo and the Wind Dragon team was about to begin. Zhang had physically recovered, but his magic was only 70% recovered. He saw the enemy, which is going to be their last target for their bet with the king to be completed. The last obstacle in Justice's way to reach them, the elder son of the Duke, was standing just in front of them. Zhang took out his magic staff and asked Don Rai to be prepared with his bow and arrows, as they would not get any other chance to face off against Duke Filch Nim's team. Don Rai agreed with him, and Zhang started collecting